Hello, everyone. My name is Lizzie Wienert, and I am currently sitting in my classroom at Madras High School. I'm a freshman level integrated science teacher, and I have made a game known as Trophic Level Mania. That is a trophic level and organism matching game. This activity is an informal assessment of learning, and it was geared to take place really at the beginning of any unit of biology or ecology classes that are focusing on food webs and organism interactions. Students in these courses will already have been introduced to concepts such as producers and consumers and interactions between organisms like predator and prey relationships. I am now going to show you the background information that is necessary for the kids to know in order to perform this trophic level organism matching game. So after completing this activity, students will be able to identify at least one organism and know which trophic level it belongs in. So the background information I thought my students would need. Organisms, plants, and animals all exist within ecosystems. Each organism plays a specific and important role in their food chain. Producers are consumed by consumers, and trophic levels are one way that we can categorize organisms. Troph meaning nourishment. Examples are autotrophs, are those that make their own food, like we can consider plants as the producers as being autotrophs. And heterotrophs eat various foods. Humans, us, are examples of heterotrophs. And for this activity, students will be challenged to identify the trophic level of an organism based on what they eat for nourishment. So our students, to perform this activity, need to understand 4 levels of the trophic pyramid, and the first being producers. So examples and characteristics of producers: plants or any synthesizing organism, photosynthesizing organism. They grow in large populations, they are consumed by herbivores, plant-eating animals, and they make the base of our trophic pyramid. Next, we have our primary consumers, and some examples and characteristics of them are primary consumers are herbivores, they're plant eaters. Most insects and prey animals are primary consumers, and primary consumers are eaten by predators, by our next group. The examples and characteristics of secondary consumers. Now, these are located at the top of the trophic level pyramid. Secondary consumers are predators. They are meat eating. Secondary consumers feed on prey animals, primary consumers, and they are located at the top of the food chain. And in each of these slides, I'm emphasizing who consumes who and whether they eat meat or eat plants. And then for our final trophic level, we will look at decomposers. So examples and characteristics of decomposers. Decomposers feed on dead tissues from plants and animals, and decomposers help recycle atoms of dead tissues back into the soil. So some of the examples I chose for this category are worms, millipedes, and fungi. This is the 4 trophic levels that you will need to know in order to perform this activity. I have gone ahead and made this slide so that you can put this as the teacher at the front of the classroom to remind the kids about what they just learned. I would suggest during the note-taking time, so during the slideshow we just went through, that you have your kids take notes about the characteristics of each trophic level, and most importantly, what does that trophic level eat and who eats them? So now we'll get into the activity itself. So the activity is run in stations. It's a stationed activity. And at every station, you will need 4 pictures of an organism that lives in each of the 4 trophic levels. You will need a blank trophic pyramid worksheet. You will need a station number label, and there will be 5 stations total. So 5 stations total, you need a blank trophic pyramid worksheet at each station. And at each station, you will have 4 pictures, each of an animal from the different trophic levels. Here's an example of a station that I put in my classroom. I chose to do stations, not in desk groups, but at different lab stations in the back of my science classroom, you are more than welcome to push desks together and use that method. I just found it most convenient to put them at lab stations. And as you can see here, we're looking at station 3. To the left, I have my label. To the right, we have our blank energy pyramid, the trophic level pyramid. Now, this is where each student will take one picture and put it on the pyramid. So the goal here is to organize the 4 pictures to the 4 different levels of the pyramid as shown to the right. So in this station, we have a tree, which would be our producer. We have a caterpillar, which would be our primary consumer. We have a bat, meat eater, who's a secondary consumer. And then we have a mushroom, which is our decomposer. The procedure for this activity is pretty simple. You'll set up the 5 stations as I've exemplified in the PowerPoint. Students will be numbered off and placed in groups of between 4 to 5. This can be modified based on your class size, but my class size is typically 35, so I would put my students in groups of 5 to 6, depending on how many came that day. All that students need for this activity are a notebook paper and any notes that they had taken during the initial presentation. Students will be asked to justify the order of their organisms within the trophic level pyramid. So the notebook paper is what we will assess as teachers and see if our students are getting a feel for justifying why they place that organism into a certain trophic level. I'll keep going. Groups will have 6 minutes at each station. So I would start class, give the brief presentation, put up on the board our big trophic level example sheet, and that's when you'll start your time. So once every group has made it to a station, they will have 6 minutes to discuss with each other, with their group mates, discuss with the group where they should put their organisms, and then write a brief explanation on their individual note sheet paper to get full points, or I'd say full value from this activity. At the end of 6 minutes, the teacher will call time, rotate, and after students are finished, I would suggest asking the groups to read out some of their explanations for the picture placements. And this will let you know informally as a teacher whether or not your kids have a better understanding of trophic levels and the organisms which live inside them. I hope you found this activity enjoyable to listen to. I hope I'm considering the only supplies you need are printed off photos, pencils, and notebook paper. I think this is a great activity for any low budget biology classroom such as mine. And yeah, that's Lizzie Weiner here, and I hope you enjoyed my brief presentation. Have a great day.